We've covered the essential building blocks of QML object declarations, properties, bindings, and signals. Now, let's explore how to organize and reuse code across your application. Import statements are the key to accessing Qt modules, JavaScript resources, and creating maintainable, modular applications. A QML document is composed of two main parts. First, it should include one or more import statements. And second, it must have a single root object declaration. To enable the QML engine to load the QML object types referenced within the document, a QML document must import the necessary modules or type namespaces. Unlike C++ includes, import statements do not copy and prepend code in the document. Instead, they instruct the QML engine on how to resolve type references found in the document. There are three types of imports with slightly different syntax and semantics. The most common type is a module import, which allows clients to import QML modules that register QML object types and resources into a given namespace. We can have a qualified or unqualified module namespace. For the module, a version number can be specified. An unqualified module import allows the use of all types provided by the module being imported without specifying a qualifier. An unqualified import with a version restricts the available types and attributes. For example, in this code snippet, any types, properties, methods or signals defined in Qt Quick 2.11 and higher will not be available in the file. Namespace imports are useful if there is a requirement to use two QML types with the same name from different modules. In this case, the two modules can be imported into different namespaces to disambiguate them. The type provided by a qualified module import should be referred to by prefixing any references with the namespace qualifier. A directory containing QML documents can also be imported directly into a QML document. This technique is not recommended. You should always use modules instead. JavaScript resources can be imported into QML documents and other JavaScript resources using relative or absolute URLs. When a relative URL is used, its location is resolved based on the location of the QML document or JavaScript resource that contains the import statement. A QML document may import a JavaScript resource with this syntax. We should note here that imported JavaScript resources are always qualified using the as keyword. The qualifier for JavaScript resources must start with an uppercase letter and must be unique, so there is always a one-to-one mapping between qualifiers and JavaScript files. Functions in JavaScript resources may take parameters whose types can be any QML value types or object types, as well as normal JavaScript types. They cannot have type annotations though. For example, in this JavaScript document, the function, location, takes a value type as an argument, while the function, item area, takes an item object as an argument. The functions defined in an imported JavaScript file are available as JavaScript code in the importing QML document. You can access them using their qualifier. ECMAScript modules are the standard format to package JavaScript code for reuse. Modules are defined using a variety of import and export statements. Module files have the extension .mjs. ECMAScript modules can only import each other. To use that mechanism, your JavaScript file must be an ECMAScript module with an .mjs extension. Let's explain the example. Module 1 has a function, square, exported to outside. Module 2 uses two different syntax to import another module. First syntax is how you import exported functions from another module. When a JavaScript module is imported this way, it is imported with a qualifier. The functions in that file are then accessible from the importing script via the qualifier. In the latter case, Module 2 only imports a specific function, hence it doesn't have to import it into a qualified namespace. Here, Module 2 exports the function that was imported from another module. We can then import the JavaScript resources into our QML document as before, using the functions with the qualifier and function name. In this example, we can use both the showCalculations function from Module 2, as well as the exported square function. Congratulations, you've completed this introduction to QML. You now understand QML syntax and document structure, the 4 building blocks, how to work with properties and types, how to create reactive interfaces with property bindings, how to respond to events with signals and handlers, and how to organize code with import statements. You're now ready to build your own QML components and create dynamic, reactive user interfaces. The best way to learn is by building. Start with small projects, experiment with what you've learned, and gradually increase complexity. The Qt documentation is an excellent resource for diving deeper into specific topics. Thank you for following along with this course. Now go build something amazing with QML.